Hello, my name is Adrian, and today we're going over assemblies. Now, in the previous lessons, we taught you how to sketch and a little bit more about sketching. And now that we have our part, we're going to start to try integrating it in what's called an assembly, which is where you can incorporate parts and interact with them by like how people create their own FTC robots in CAD. So, we're going to start off by opening up FTC LIB. So, if you do not have access to this, we'll leave it in the description below. We're going to open this up, and for right now, as an example, we're just going to choose a random part, which will be just a channel. And so I'm going to import this into the assembly. Then I'm going to check mark it. And normally when you start off with assemblies, you want to start off by mating whatever part it is to the origin right here. So this is the first feature we're going to learn about in assemblies, which is called a mate. And a mate, or a fasten mate specifically, is just connecting something to something else. So in this case, we're connecting this part to the origin right here. So first, what you want to do is you're going to want to just choose any corner that you like, and I'm going to choose right here. Once you see that this circle is flat, I'm going to press it, and now with the mate you need to click two parts. So I click one side, which is this flat part right here, and now I'm going to mate this to the origin. So I'm going to try to align it like this right here so that it is parallel to each other. The faces are facing each other. So oops. I'm going to redo that. Same thing right here. Okay, then when it's done, you can check mark it, and now our part is fastened to the origin right now. So now what we can do is we can start adding parts. So with the basic mate, let's say you have created your name tag and you want to put it on this U channel right here. You can also orient parts differently by just clicking on it and moving these arrows. So this turn it backwards, and this can turn it around like this. Like that. And let's say we want to put this on this U channel right here. So I'm going to fasten this hole right here to one of these holes on the U channel. So same thing, we're going to be using the fasten mate. Now we're going to click on this circle outline here, like around this edge. That way we can see this little circle, which shows us where the mate will connect. So mate connector part 1, which is this outline of this edge. And let's say we're going to mate it to this hole right here. So again, once you see that hole, once you click on the edge and you see that this little circle in the hole, press it and it will fasten. And I'm going to check it. Everything looks good. And now our part is fastened to this channel right here. And now you could do a lot more with just fastening, like incorporating other FTC parts or creating custom parts and fastening them together. So let's try adding another FTC part. Let's try adding a motor. So I'm going to import a motor right now. So I'm going to import this motor. Check mark this. Now we have a motor here. And let's say we want to fasten this motor on the channel as well. We're going to want to, let's start by rotating this. So I want to make this clear first, that when you fasten parts together, make sure that their faces are facing each other. For example, right here, if I try to fasten this, let's say I want this hole here to be on this edge. So click that, as you can see, it won't fasten properly. It will like go inside the U channel, which we don't want. So just make a habit of reorienting the part whenever you import it. Alright, now we can fasten it. And let's fasten it to this same hole again, right here. Okay. And if everything looks good, everything does look good, so I'm going to check mark it. And now we have a motor on our panel. Now I'm going to get a little bit more in depth about fastening, or about mate connectors in general. One mate connector is fasten, and there is another one that is commonly used as well, which is revolute. And revolute is just where one part, which is on a mate connector, will rotate however much you want it. It can be indefinite as well, around a certain part. So let's say we want to put a hub on this motor right here. So let's get a motor hub. So let's just get a sonic hub for instance. Oops, that's the wrong one. Okay. Now I'm gonna delete this part because we don't need this part. But now we have this sonic hub, and whenever you want to mate something in general, just make sure that the faces that you want to mate are facing each other. So I want this edge right here to be facing this, or this face right here to be facing this face. So again, I'm just gonna rotate this. It doesn't have to be exactly facing each other. That's okay. If it's like a little bit slanted, like here, that's okay. Now we want to revolute it. So click on this revolute right here, and it works very similarly to a fasten mate. We're gonna want to click on this edge right here because we want it to revolute from the center. So whenever you see that little yellow circle in the center, then you can revolute it. So I'm gonna revolute that here. And then I'm going to click this circle right here, and that looks good. I'm gonna check mark this, and now our part should revolute. Now there's also things called offsets in mates, mate offsets, which you can always edit it whenever you fasten it. So let's say we want this part right here to be a couple more holes down. Like we want it to be right here, for instance, so that this sonic hub doesn't get in the way. What we can do is, whenever you offset, you want to know the distance. So we click this measure tool down in the bottom right corner. We're going to want to click two circles to find the distance that is from each other. So we're looking at this part, center distance right here, and this is 0.945 inches. So we're going to want to move this hole to this hole. So we're going to move it to the right. So click on your fasten, and then you want to click edit. And you want to click this part, this check mark right here, which says offset. And you want to look at the direction that you want to move it. In this case, we're looking at it's the x-axis. So we want to move it to the right on the x-axis. So I'm going to put 0.945 inches, and it moves it right down to this hole. We can also rotate it too. You can rotate on whatever axis you want, but I'm just going to leave that for now, because all we need to do was offset the x-axis. And since this looks good, I'm going to check mark this, and now our sonic hub won't interfere with our name tag, and this would be like the start of a very basic assembly that we want to do.